like to recognize our platinum sponsor, the Lewis Clinic, First United Methodist Church, Homeowners Bank and Trust, Merle Norman, Washington Termite and Pest Control, Pink Ribbon Realty, Superior Floors and Designs, Wade Andrews, State Representative. Also our gold sponsors, Chambers Loaning, Dean's Heating and Air, Everett Contract, Everett Nickel, Family Eye Care, Highland Industrial Park, Jim Golden Ford, Morrison's Pharmacy, Poison Springs Tree Service, The Sandbar, Shelter Insurance.
All right, Camden Fairview Cardinal baseball
Max in
coming at you
Cardinal,
from George Branch Field here in Camden, Arkansas. Cardinals take on the Eldorado Wildcats this evening.
Also like to invite you to
Starting on the mound for the
go to Camden
Cardinals,
Fairview Baseball
number
concession stand.
25, Charlie
They have
Lewis.
barbecue sandwiches,
Behind the plate
hot
for Camden Fairview, number
cold
21,
drinks,
Jackson Wilson.
popcorn, candy.
Peyton
Thank you
Schroeder
very
at first
much
base.
for
Second base is
any
Elijah
and all
Scantling.
patrons
Third
at
base,
the
Michael Betts.
concession
Shortstop,
stand.
Jack Jeffus. Left field tonight is Aiden Zimmerman. Center field has Brody Dow out there. And right field tonight is Chris Randall. Leading it off for the Wildcats is number 23, Harrison Lowry.
The battery for the Cardinals behind the plate, number 21, Jackson Wilson. And on the bump for the Cardinals, number 25, Charlie Lewis. Leadoff batter, the second baseman, number 23, Harrison Lowry.
All right, Harrison Lowry in the box, ready to lead it off for the Wildcats. Charlie Lewis looks in and gets the sign from Jackson Wilson. Here comes the pitch. First pitch just a little off the edge, outside edge of the plate. 1 ball and no strikes here to start it off. Cold, windy afternoon here for baseball. And that pitch, again, just a little outside, and the count 2 balls and no strikes to Harrison Lowry. Charlie Lewis looks in. Here comes the pitch. That one fouled. Well, no, it's going to be a fair ball hit into right field, and it was dove. Chris Randall dove for it and didn't quite get there to it. So Lowry going to be in with a base hit here to start off the game
Right
for the
fielder, number
Eldorado
17,
Wildcats.
Walker Williamson.
Walker Williamson now, the batter for Eldorado. Lowry with the lead out at first base. Lewis looks back, checks the runner, and he comes home with it bunt laid down. That ball is going to be foul. Foul ball. And Walker Williamson going to come back and do it again. All right, Williamson back in the box. And Lewis throws over to first base. Lowry back to the bag in time. And Lewis kicks, delivers that ball outside. Nice stab there by the catcher, Jackson Wilson. A 1 ball, 1 strike count to Walker Williamson, the Wildcat right fielder. And that pitch high in the zone, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Eldorado with a runner at first on a bloop single over into right field. Chris Randall over there, he gave a good effort, just come up a little short on it. 2-1 count, no outs. Here's a throw back over to first base. Lowry in ahead of the tag. Here comes a pitch and swing and a miss. On an off-speed delivery there from Charlie Lewis. Evens the count up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Three and two, the count now to Williamson. Runner goes. That ball's in for a strike. Punches him out. And Lowry's going to take second base on the play. Williamson goes down looking. That brings up Josiah Moore.
Josiah Moore.
It is a hot chocolate kind of night tonight at the ballpark, or this afternoon. All right, Josiah Moore stands in DHing for the Wildcats tonight. Runner down at second is Harrison Lowry, swing and a miss on that pitch from Charlie Lewis. The count, no balls and a strike to Josiah Moore. And that pitch low. Nice block there by the catcher. Keeps it out in front, holds the runner down at second, in the count even to 1-1. Brett Major waits on deck. And that ball hit, fielded by Jack Jeffers, looks him back to second, over to first. Peyton Schroeder with the ball, runs it back to Charlie Lewis, and that is 2 down in the inning.
Batter number 2, first baseman Brett Major.
Brett Major now the batter for the Wildcats. Two away. Brett Major the batter for the Wildcats. And fouls that first pitch back to the fence, and the count to Major, no balls and a strike. Harrison Lowry at second base. Brett Major trying to drive him in. Charlie Lewis trying to strike him out. And swings through that one, and the count now no balls and 2 strikes. And Major thinks about pulling the trigger on that one. It was outside, holds up on it, and 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count now to Brett Major. Charlie Lewis looks in with the sign, and that one outside again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. We're in the top of the first inning. Eldorado with a runner at second base on a bloop single. And here comes a pitch from Lewis. That one in just a little low. Nice pitch there, just a little low in the zone, and the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Peyton Schroeder and Jackson Wilson go out to the mound. And Charlie Lewis back on the bump. Everybody else back in their positions. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs here. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And Lewis strikes him out. No runs on 1 hit. No errors. 1 left on base. Camden Fairview on the way to the plate. 0-0. All right, leading it off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the first inning, the shortstop, number 4, Jack Jeffers.
The shortstop, number 4, Jack Jeffers.
Jeffers, Scantling, Chris Randall, Peyton Schroeder in the inning, and swings on the first pitch, hit it to center field, coming on under it, and the catch for the first out. All right, Elijah Scantling up.
Camden Fairview, second baseman, number 7, Elijah Scantling.
And first pitch into Scantling is strike 1. Ethan Darden on the mound for Eldorado. Kyler Rayleigh, the catcher. And Scantling down now. No balls and 2 strikes. And hits that one. It's going to be just foul. All right, no balls, 2 strikes, the count on the Cardinals' second baseman, Elijah Scantling. And swings through that one for the strikeout. And out number 2, Chris Randall now comes to the plate for the Cardinals. Chris getting the start in right field this afternoon.
Chris Randall.
Peyton Schroeder waits on deck. And that pitch a little high. Here comes the pitch and swings. That one's going to be through No, fielded there by the second baseman and bounces past the first baseman to the fence, backed up there by the catcher. And Randall is going to have first base. I'm going to call it a hit. The throw was late, and he did not advance.
In the box for the Cardinals, number 19, first baseman.
All right, infield single there for Chris Randall brings Peyton Schroeder to the plate. Cardinals 2 down, trying to move some runners around the bases here. That pitch comes over for strike one. Darden has the sign he wants, and Schroeder fouls that one over towards the left side, third base, just over the line. I believe the Eldorado Wildcat players there lost it in the sun. The wind is blowing pretty good here, and that's going to affect the baseball tonight for sure. And between that and the sun, the direction he was looking, Peyton Schroeder's going to get another crack at it here. No balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals with a runner at first base in Chris Randall. Peyton Schroeder trying to move him around the bag here. And that pitch is going to be high. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Peyton Schroeder. Brody Dow on deck. Runner goes, and Randall's going to be safe in at second base. All right, Chris Randall with a stolen base puts the Cardinals in scoring position here for Schroeder. The count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Schroeder's going to hit that one in the air up against in foul territory, all next to the third base bag, going to be caught. And the third out of the inning. Cardinals get a hit. They leave a runner stranded. No runs. We're headed to the second inning. Score tied at 0.
Justin Hammett.
All right, Justin Hammett, number 10, playing left field tonight for Eldorado, is going to lead it off here in the top of the second inning. No score. Charlie Lewis back out for the Cardinals. First pitch in for strike number 1. And Lewis looks in, gets the sign from Jackson Wilson. Kick and delivery. That one's going to stay high in the count, even 1 ball and a strike to Justin Hammett. And that ball's going to be hit into right field, and on for the catch is Chris Randall for out number 1. All right, 1 away brings the pitcher Ethan Darden to the plate for Eldorado. Charlie Lewis comes set and delivers. That pitch going to be hit left field, going back Aiden Zimmerman, and it is going to be to the fence and cut off. Not in time, and Ethan Darden going to be in with a triple. Courtesy runner coming in for the pitcher looks like number 8. Will Newton now the batter for Eldorado. Runner at third base on the triple there. Ethan Darden to the left field fence, and that ball is going to be hit. Jack Jeffers fields it and can't hold on to it. That's going to score Ethan Darden for the Wildcats. Beckett Little to the dish now for Eldorado. 1 away. And he squares the bunt, pulls it back. That stays outside. Scored that an error on the Cardinal shortstop. And swings through that one for the miss. Throw down to second base, not in time. And Will Newton going to have a stolen base there. One ball, 1 strike count to Will Newton. And swings through that one for a big strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Eldorado with a run across here. 1 out in the top of the second inning. 2 balls and a strike on Will Newton. And that one's going to be behind the batter to the backstop. Two balls and 2 strikes is the count to Will Newton. 1 away in the inning. Cardinals trying to get the out here. And that one outside is going to bounce away from the catcher, and runner comes home to score. And that pitch hits Little, and he's going to go down. Did that hit him, or was it ball four? And throw over to first. Back to the bag is Beckett Little in time. 2-0 now. Eldorado leading the Cardinals here in the top of the second inning. Kyler Rayleigh, the batter, and squares to bunt, pulls back, and no attempt to steal there. Beckett Little thought about it, went back 2 balls, and no strikes is the count to Kyler Rayleigh. Tate Meadows on deck for the Wildcats. And squares to bunt again. That ball passed the catcher again, and Beckett Little going to move down to second base. All right, 2 balls, no strikes, 1 away. Runner at second base for Eldorado. That pitch swung and missed, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Charlie Lewis looking good out there earlier. Just needs to reset, throw some strikes, let his defense work for him. And that pitch falls outside the strike zone in the count 3-1 now to Kyler Rayleigh. Beckett Little, the runner on second base for Eldorado. 3-1 count. Lewis looks in, and big swing there. Nice pitch there by Charlie Lewis. Evens it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And pops that one up. Third base side and behind the plate, and not in time. 3-2 count. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Eldorado with a 2-0 lead here in the top of the second inning. Charlie Lewis on the mound for the Cardinals. Here comes the pitch from Lewis. That's going to be hit off the handle. Elijah Scantling goes back, makes the diving catch, tries to double him up at second base, but nice job there by Elijah Scantling. All right, 2 away now. And that brings Harrison Lowry back to the plate. He led the game off with an infield or a little bloop single just behind first base for Eldorado. Ended up being left on base. He hits that one, and Elijah Scantling gets glove on it over his head there and just couldn't bring it in. That's going to bring in 2 more runs there for the Wildcats. And that one's going to be fouled off over on the third base side. That was just one more run across for Eldorado. Or was it? And again, fouled off third base side. All right, 0-2 count on Walker Williamson. That one's going to be hit. Elijah Scantling has it over to first base and the third out. Eldorado going to leave one stranded. They get a couple of runs across on, let's see, no hits. Well, one hit. We're headed to the bottom of the fourth inning. It is 4-0 Eldorado.
Center fielder Brody Dow.
All right, Brody Dow to the plate for the Cardinals. Little work to do. Cardinals trail it 4-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. And Dow swings at the first pitch for strike one. That hot chocolate's determined to make a mess. Dow swings at that one, pops it up out of play, and the count 0-2 now to the Cardinals center fielder Brody Dow. Had a little hot chocolate trouble this evening. Spilled it in the concession stand and spilled it on my table. Brody Dow hits that one. Brett Major to go deep in the hole there, snag that one and get it over to first base. That is, let's see,
Number 8, Drew Boston.
not Brett Major. That is Harrison Lowry at second base. Drew Bostic to the plate. Drew swings at the first pitch. That's going to be hit. Fielded there by the shortstop over to first, and 2 up and 2 down for the Cardinals here.
Third baseman, number 9, Michael Betts.
Michael Betts, the batter now. He swings at the first pitch as well, fouls that one off. And it is no balls and a strike to Michael Betts. And that one's going to be in the dirt. Nice job there by the catcher, stay in front of that one. Count even, 1 ball and a strike. Brett Major is at first base, not second base. And Michael Betts hits that one, and again, shortstop has it, throw across the diamond, and Cardinals go up 3 down, 3 up, 3 down there. No hits, no runs, no errors, no score for the Cardinals, and it is a 4-0 Eldorado lead. Can I have some more? Yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to make a mess with it like I did the other one. 3 up, 3 down is not going to get it. We are slow starting. What I didn't spill in the microwave, I ended up spilling out here. Yeah. Hmm? No more after this? Okay. All right, Josiah Moore to lead it off for Eldorado. Moore squares to bunt, pulls it back in the count. No, or 1 ball, no strikes. And again, squares to bunt, and that one's going to be off his hand. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike to Josiah Moore. Coach going to come over, take a look at Moore's hand. It's cold outside. You get hit on the hand or anywhere right now with the baseball, it adds a little bit more of a sting. And Moore swings at that one, fouls it over on the first base side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Wildcat DH Josiah Moore. Charlie Lewis kicks, delivers that pitch outside, and the count even 2-2 now to Moore. The score is 3-0. You're giving Eldorado an extra run there. 3-0 the count, or the score, and count is 3-2 now as that pitch inside in the dirt. And Moore still shaking off that finger there that the ball hit him when he squared the bunt. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Moore leading it off here, top of the 3rd inning for Eldorado. They have a 3-0 lead, and Moore's going to get the free trip down to first base. Brett Major, the batter now for Eldorado. Moore with a good lead out at first. He retreats back to the bag after the pitch and count 1 ball and no strikes to Brett Major. And Major swings at that one. It's going to be hit in the air left field. And Aiden Zimmerman comes on, makes the catch. And that retires Brett Major. One away now, and Justin Hammett to the plate for Eldorado. Eldorado with Josiah Moore. At first base, he reached on a walk. Cardinals trying to double him up here. Justin Hammett flew out to right field his last at bat. Lewis throws back over to Peyton Schroeder at first. Moore still shaking that finger, that hand off over there. And Lewis goes to the plate with that one, just a tad low. Good looking pitch. As they say, good place to miss. One ball, no strikes. And runner goes. That's going to be a base hit into right field on the hit and run. Chris Randall picks it up, and now Eldorado with runners at the corners and 1 out.
Yeah, they're on. It hasn't gone off, so. You did? Okay. I love you.
Number 12, Dart.
She's not tonight, but the next time she does, I will, okay?
All right, Ethan Darden, the batter. And that pitch in for a strike. No balls and a strike to the Wildcat pitcher, Ethan Darden. 3-0, Eldorado ahead of the Cardinals here, top of the 3rd inning. And runner goes, and back pick attempted there. Fake throw down to second, and Jackson Wilson throws down to third, and Josiah Moore back in plenty of time. That puts runners at second and third. 1-1 count, 1 away, and a 3-0 lead for Eldorado. And that one's going to be popped up out of play behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count. Charlie Lewis with the sign. Kick and delivers, and that one outside it again. Back pick. Throw down to third base. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Will Newton would follow here. Darden gets aboard. And that pitch in the dirt. Nice job there. Nice job there by Jackson Wilson to keep it out front. Evens the count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count. Charlie Lewis going to kick deliver. That pitch is going to be hit into left field. Over under it is Aiden Zimmerman, and he's going to throw to his cutoff man. That is going to score a run for Eldorado. Sack fly there. What happened? All right, umpires, they say that the Eldorado runner left early and throw back to the base and got the out. So that is going to be a run for Eldorado. Let's see. Let's count this here. No, that is not going to be a run because that one's a race. So the score remains 3-0 Eldorado. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th inning. All right, Jackson Wilson leading it off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 3-0 Eldorado lead. That first pitch to Wilson in for strike 1. That one's going to be outside, off the plate, and the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Wilson and Zimmerman and back up to Jack Jeffers due up this inning for the Cardinals. And that pitch off the plate. The count 3 balls and a strike to the Cardinal catcher, Jackson Wilson. And that pitch low. Ooh, called strike. Yeah, everybody but the umpire thought it was low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Jackson fouls that one off. Stays alive in the at bat. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-0. Eldorado leads it here, bottom of the 3rd inning. And that was going to be up and away, and Jackson Wilson will draw the walk.
At the plate, the left fielder, number 5, Aiden Zimmerman.
Aiden Zimmerman Aiden Evans going to come in and run for Jackson Wilson. High school baseball allows courtesy runners for the pitcher and the catcher. Gets those guys back in, gets them dressed, warmed up, cooled off, whatever. It's definitely warmed up today. Aiden Zimmerman going to square the bunt throw back over to first base. And Evans back in ahead of the throw. All right, Cardinals with a man at first, and again, throw's going to be over to first base. Zimmerman squares the bunt, bunts it foul, and the count no balls and a strike to Aiden Zimmerman. Zimmerman squares the bunt. He lays that one down. Nice looking bunt. Fielded by the catcher. It was in time, but moves the runner over. Jack Jeffers now back up for the Cardinals. Top of the lineup for Camden Fairview. And Jeffers swings first pitch, fouls it back towards the third base dugout, and the count no balls and one strike. Darden delivers a pitch. That's a curveball, stayed high. Jack Jeffers swung at it. It's going to be almost caught there by Brett Major. Good effort there by Major over towards the fence on the first base side of the dugout, and the count, or the first base side of the field by the dugout. The count now no balls and two strikes to Jack Jeffers. Elijah Scantling would be next. And that was going to be high and away, and the count a ball and two strikes. "45 degrees today at game time. Going to be 90 degrees on Saturday. Welcome to Arkansas. Here comes the fake throw back to second base. We go from shorts and flip-flops one day to all your best deer hunting clothes the next, and Jeffers swings through that one for strike number 3. Two away in the inning now for Elijah Scantling.
Second baseman, Elijah Scantling.
And Elijah hits that one, fielded by the pitcher back over to first base. And that retires the side for the Cardinals. They no runs on no hits, no errors. They leave one stranded. We're headed to the top of the 4th inning. Eldorado leads it 3-0. All right, Will Newton deleted off for Eldorado here, top of the fourth inning. Eldorado leads it 3-0. Charlie Lewis still on the mound for the Cardinals. That pitch in for strike number one. Good job there. Nice pitch on the outside corner of the plate there. And the count, no balls and a strike to Will Newton. And that pitch just a little high. Count even, 1 ball and a strike. And Newton hits that one over to second base, fielded by Scantling, and the throw over to first base. And out number one here in the top of the fourth. Beckett Little now, the batter.
Third baseman, Little.
Beckett Little hit by a pitch back in the second inning and did come around to score. That pitch outside, and the count, no balls and a strike. Charlie Lewis looks in. That one's going to be outside, and the count 2-0 now to Beckett Little. One away here. We're in the top of the fourth inning. Eldorado with a 3-0 lead. And that pitch is going to be hit in the gap. Dive by, oh man, nice play there by Elijah Scantling. He dove for it and threw from laying on the ground, basically just not quite in time, but excellent effort there by Scantling. Beckett Little is going to be safe with a hit, but not because Scantling didn't give 100% on that one. Kyler Rayleigh now the batter for Eldorado. Throw back over to first by Charlie Lewis. One away in the inning. Rayleigh the batter for Eldorado. Lewis set and going to throw back over again to first. After Rayleigh, it'd be Harrison Lowry back to the top of the order for Eldorado. He squares to bunt. That ball is going to go past the catcher. I'm not sure if Rayleigh pulled the bat back or not. Looks like a ball and no strikes is the count. Runner moves down to second. And again, squares the bunt. That's going to be a nice bunt laid down, fielded by the catcher, and going to be past the first baseman. All right, a bunt single RBI there by Kyler Rayleigh. And the count, or the, I don't know,
Lowry.
may not be an RBI throw, but we'll going to be generous. And back pick, that might have got him. Not in time. Nice try there by Jackson Wilson. And that's going to be popped up. Michael Betts has it there in the coach's box on the third base side. 2 down now in the inning for Walker Williamson.
There's a courtesy runner, number 19, Austin Fudge.
All right, runner at first. Austin Fudge now in. Out to left field. That pitch a little high. Wind kind of swirling a little bit. It'll blow in and blow out. But I tell you what it is, it's cold, whichever direction it's coming from. 1 ball. Cardinals trying to get out of the inning here. That ball is going to be hit, and that's a fair baseball hit down the there for Walker.
DH, Moore.
All right, Josiah Moore back up for the Wildcats. And Moore swings the first pitch, fouls it back. And the count, no balls and a strike to the Eldorado DH. Two away in the inning. Cardinals trying to get this last out, get back to the ditch. That pitch outside, and it's even at 1 ball and 1 strike. And swings through that one big, and the count. A ball and 2 strikes to Josiah Moore. And fouls that one off. Michael Betts gives chase. Going to be out of play over on the left field side of the diamond. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josiah Moore. And that one on the outside edge of the plate. And again, outside full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Josiah Moore. Eldorado 4-0 lead here over the Cardinals, top of the 4th inning. Cardinals need 1 more strike here to get out of this inning, and that's going to be a foul ball. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Runners at second and third base for Eldorado. And swing and a miss. Moore goes down on strikes. Cardinals get out of the inning with only 1 run coming across. 4-0. Eldorado over the Cardinals.
Let's see.
All right. Bottom of the fourth inning, Cardinals trail 4-0. Mariuzzi going to lead it off here for Camden Fairview. That pitch outside. Two balls, no strikes to Mariuzzi. And a 3-0 count now to Mariuzzi. Cardinals trying to get something going here in the fourth inning. And he holds up on that one. In for a strike. And that one sends Mariuzzi down to first base for a walk. Peyton Schroeder now to the plate for the Cardinals.
Number 19, Peyton Schroeder.
Popped out over on the third base side back in the first inning. Cardinals trying to get things going here. They trail 4-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning. On a chilly afternoon here at George Branch Field, here comes the pitch, and that one's going to be in for strike number one. Mariuzzi, Peyton Schroeder, Brody Dow due up in the inning. Drew Bostic would be next if we extend the inning. And Schroeder's going to hit that one's going to be in the hole. Through the hole, right field, and the throw's going to go over to third base. Mariuzzi in safe at third. And Schroeder moves him around with the hit to right field.
Center fielder, Brody Dow.
Runners now at the corners for Brody Dow. That pitch outside bounces away from the catcher. Mariuzzi holds up, and that pitch. All right, Eldorado throwing it around a little bit. Mariuzzi comes across to score. Peyton Schroeder down to third. Out from the Eldorado. Throwing errors there. Eldorado coach going to go out and talk to his troops. All right. Peyton Schroeder stands at third base. 4-1 the score now. And up the middle, that one, Brody Dow, 2. Fielder's choice there by Dow, gets a run across and brings the Cardinal DH, Drew Bostic, to the plate.
The batter, number 8, Drew Bostic.
And that pitch on the inside edge of the plate. And that one low and away. First pitch called a strike. Drew says it hit him in the arm. And fouled off now in the count. A ball and 2 strikes on the Cardinal DH. And he fights that one off. Inside pitch. Did all he could do with it. And Drew Bostic out at first base.
Now batting number 9, Michael Beck.
All right, Michael Betts at the plate for the Cardinals. 2 away. 4-2 the score now. And that pitch inside and count 1 ball and a strike, or no strikes. I'm sorry, 1 ball and no strikes. And Betts fouls that one back, and the count. Cardinals with a couple of runs across here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And that one in for a strike. Curveball there from Ethan Darden. A lot of movement on that pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Or 1 ball and 2 strikes, I believe is the count. And Betts goes down on strikes. Cardinals are going to leave. Let's see. No, they don't leave anybody stranded, but they do get a couple of runs across on a hit. Cardinals trail now 4-2. All right, Brett Major leading it all for the Wildcats here in the top of the 5th inning. Camden Fairview. All right, Cardinals working on the pitch comm again. Great technology when it works, and it seems to be. All right, Cardinals got it figured out, maybe. All right, Brett Major back to the plate. 4-2 Eldorado lead here, top of the 5th inning. Charlie Lewis still on the mound for the Cardinals. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be in for strike. And that one in for strike. Off the plate. 2 balls and a strike to Brett Major. And that one outside. 3-1 count now. Three balls and a strike to Brett Major. Charlie Lewis comes set, kicks, delivers. That one's going to be in on the outside edge, and the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Cardinals trail the Wildcats by 2. And that one's going to be hit in the air. Center field. Brody Dow comes in and makes the catch for out number 1. One away now in the top of the 5th, and Justin Hammett, the batter for Eldorado. Pitch in on the outside edge of the plate. No balls and a strike. The count to Justin Hammett, the Eldorado Wildcat left fielder. And that one just going to miss low. Evens it up 1-1. And that's going to be hit, fielded by Scantlin over to first for the out. Two away now for Ethan Darden.
12, Darden.
And that pitch just off the edge of the plate. A ball and no strikes to Ethan Darden. Wind picked up again, blowing out to left field. And that one's going to stay high. Count now 2 balls and no strikes to Darden. Will Newton on deck for the Wildcats. And Lewis throws that one in there. It's going to bounce in the dirt away from the catcher, and a 3-0 count now to Ethan Darden. Two away in the inning. Cardinals trail by 2. And that one's in the dirt, and Darden going to go down on 4 pitches there to first base. And I have a courtesy runner.
Courtesy runner. That's number 8. Sheeler Sewell.
And Todd Schroeder going to go out and talk with Charlie Lewis and the infield. We're going to take the break with them here. Cardinals trail 4-2, top of the 5th inning with 2. All right, Will Newton, the batter for the Wildcats, runner on first base. 2 away. 4-2 Eldorado lead here, top of the 5th inning. First pitch up high, and the count a ball and no strikes. And runner back ahead. Schuler on to run for the from Charlie Lewis. And the pitch a little low, 2 balls.
They told me to ask you if you lost internet.
I did. I think it came unplugged.
Because they lost it up there.
Came back. I think it's All right, I think we might have our sound back now. All right, Eldorado runners at first and second base. That pitch in for a strike there to Walker Williamson, the batter. 2 strikes on Williamson. And that one's going to be hit back to Charlie Lewis. Throws over to third for the force out at third. Nice job there by Lewis to get the lead runner. All right, Josiah Moore, the batter now for Eldorado. Runner still at first and second base. That one's hit in the air, center field, and over the head there of the Cardinal players. That's going to bring 2 runs home to score. Josiah Moore with a couple of RBIs on that double. Josiah Moore down at second base. Major's going to hit that one in the gap between short and third, and that puts runners at the corners for Eldorado with still 2 outs here in the inning. And Coach Austin May going to go out to the mound. We're going to take All right, new pitcher for the Cardinals, number 3, Titus Chambers. Justin Hammett going to be the batter for Eldorado. They have a 6-4 lead and runners at the corners. First pitch there from Titus Chambers in for a strike. And that pitch from Chambers just missed. One ball, one strike, the count to Justin Hammett. And that one outside off the glove of the catcher, and that's going to bring Josiah home to score. Two balls and a strike. And that one's going to be hit into left field. Aiden Zimmerman coming on makes the catch for the final out of the inning. Eldorado with 3 runs across in the frame there. They go up 7-4. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th inning here from George Branch Field at Camden, Arkansas. All right, Drew Bostic going to lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Cardinals. They trail 7-4. And Bostic swings the first pitch, hits it over to shortstop, fielded, and the throw is going to be not in time. And Bostic's going to be safe at first base.
Number 9, Michael Betts.
Michael Betts, the batter now for the Cardinals. That pitch outside. And a 1 ball and no strikes to Michael Betts. And that pitch going to be high and tight. And the count 2 balls and no strikes. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning here from George Branch Field. Camden, Arkansas. Cardinals trail the Wildcats 7-4. And that pitch comes across as a strike. 2 balls and a strike now to Michael Betts. Three balls and a strike now. And that one called strike number 2. 3-2 count. Runner at first base for the Cardinals. And Michael Betts dinks that one over to third. It's going to be fielded at first base for the out. 2 down now in the inning for
Number 21,
Jackson Wilson. I'm sorry, that's 1 down in the inning. Drew Bostic moves over to second base. And Wilson swings first pitch, hits it foul. All right, Cardinals with a runner at second base. They've got 1 out. Jackson Wilson, your batter. And that pitch stays high. And the count is even at 1 ball and a strike to Jackson Wilson. And pitcher balks. And that's going to send Drew Bostic to third base. And home plate umpire John Dawson goes over, explains the movement there to the Eldorado coach. 1 ball and a strike, the count to Jackson Wilson. Cardinals now with a runner at third base. And that pitch past the catcher, Drew Bostic, going to come home and score. He's getting it. Two balls and a strike, the count. And that one's in for a strike in. The count even 2 balls and 2 strikes now. 7-5 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cardinals with 1 out. Aiden Zimmerman on deck for Camden Fairview. And that one just off the edge of the plate. Jackson Wilson lays off. Full count now, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Wilson hits that one in the air, center field, and under it for the out.
Number 5, Aiden Zimmerman.
All right, Aiden Zimmerman, the batter now for the Cardinals. And swings through that one for strike number 1. And that one down the pipe. Zimmerman in the hole now. No balls and 2 strikes.
Get 5.
And that one a little high. A ball and 2 strikes to the Cardinal left fielder, Aiden Zimmerman here. 2 outs in the inning. Cardinals with 1 run across here in their half of the inning. Zimmerman fouls that one. Or no, it's not going to be foul. Going to stay fair, and the ball is not caught. Zimmerman's going to be safe at first base. That's why you hustle. And Zimmerman's safe at first. All right, Jack Jeffers, the batter now for the Cardinals. Jeffers due tonight. And that pitch in for a strike. Cardinals trying to extend the inning here, score a couple more runs before we head to the 7th. Let's see if Jack Jeffers keep it going for the Cardinals here. That pitch inside. A ball and a strike to Jack Jeffers.
Get 4.
And that pitch in for strike number 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that pitch stays high. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jack Jeffers backs out of the box. He's back in there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Got a runner at first. Here comes the pitch. Jeffers swings, hits it in the air. It's over in foul territory, and it's going to be out of play. Lands in the Cardinal dugout. All right, 2-2 is the count. Aiden Zimmerman at first base for the Cardinals. Jack Jeffers at the plate. And Jack hits that one. It's off the glove of the third baseman. And everybody's going to be safe. No play. And Elijah Scantling coming to the plate, representing the go-ahead run here in the 6th inning for the Cardinals with 2 outs.
Number 7, Elijah Scantling.
And that pitch in for a strike. And Scantling hits that one, fielded by the third baseman. He steps on the bag for the force out. Cardinals going to leave a couple of men stranded. They get a run on a hit. And we're headed to the 7th inning. Cardinals trail at 7-5. All right, Ethan Darden going to lead off the 7th inning for Eldorado here. Eldorado with a 7-5 lead. Titus Chambers with the first pitch in for strike number 1. Chambers delivers up, going to be outside, and the count is even at a ball and a strike to Ethan Darden. Ethan Darden, Will Newton, Beckett Little due up in the inning for the Wildcats. And swings through that one in the miss, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. And that one outside skips away from Jackson Wilson there. And the count even 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ethan Darden. Cardinals trail by 2 here, top of the 7th inning. And that one just a little high. 3-2 is the count. And Chambers gonna walk him to start off the inning. Ethan Darden gonna go down, have a courtesy runner there for all right, Will Newton, the batter for Eldorado. They're going to throw over. Check the runner at first base. He's back ahead of the tag. Top of the 7th inning, Eldorado with a runner at first base, no outs. And Will Newton, the batter. That ball is going to bounce away from the catcher and bounce to the other side of the plate there. A ball and no strikes to Will Newton. Runner moves down to second. And that ball is going to be in the gap between third and shortstop, and that's going to put runners at the corners for the Wildcats. Beckett Little, the batter now for the Wildcats. 7-5 the lead, and Jackson Wilson blocks that pitch there. Runner's going to go down to second base uncontested on the pitch, and the count is a ball and no strikes. And Titus Chambers going to back off the mound. Chambers comes set, kicks and delivers, and that one off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes, the count. And that one just a little high. Good looking pitch there. Just a little high in the zone. 3-0 now the count. Hey, a walk here is not the worst thing. First base open, that puts force play anywhere. Still want to get the out. But the walk's not the most terrible thing in the world. And the walk is what he's going to get. Coach Todd Schroeder going to go out, talk with Mr. Chambers, settle him down. We've got to force out anywhere on the base pass. We're going to take the break with him. All right, Kyler Rayleigh, the batter for Eldorado. Bases are loaded, no outs. And nice pitch there by Titus Chambers. Rayleigh swings through that pitch for strike number one. Titus needs those strikes, let his defense work for him. They got to force out anywhere on the field. And that pitch in for a strike, and Rayleigh down 0-2 now to Titus Chambers. And that pitch can be hit down the line into left field. And that's one run, 2 runs across for the Wildcats on that hit by Rayleigh. Harrison Lowry, the batter now for Eldorado. And that pitch is going to hit Lowry and load the bases again for Eldorado. Walker Williamson now batting for Eldorado. And that pitch is going to be hit into center field. And here comes a throw to the plate. And it's going to be offline. That's going to score another run. Sac fly RBI there by Walker Williamson. Cardinals kept it close most of the game here, and in a little trouble here, maybe letting it get away here in the seventh inning. 10-5 the score now, one away. And Josiah Moore swings through that first pitch for strike number 1. And that pitch hit on the ground, going to be through the hole over on first base side. And that's going to roll past the outfielder. That scores 2 runs. And Moore going to be standing up at third base. Brett Major, the batter now for Eldorado. Big cut at that one. But Eldorado with an 11-5 lead now over the Cardinals. And that pitch a little low, and the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out in the inning. Eldorado with a big inning here so far. And Major swings through that one, and that ball thrown down to third past the third baseman. That's going to score another run for Eldorado. All right, base paths are cleared off. 13-5 is the lead. And an 0-2 count on Brett Major. And fouled that one back into the glove for the strikeout. 2 away now for Justin Hammett.
Number 10, Hammond.
That pitch in for a strike. And that one fouled back into the umpire or the catcher or both. Not sure which, but the count now, no balls and 2 strikes on Justin Hammett. Cardinals need 1 more strike here. They got a lot of room, or a lot of baseball to play to make this one up. And that's going to be hit over the head of Chambers into center field and picked up by Dow back into the infield. Base hit there for Justin Hammett.
Batter number 8, Schuler Sewell.
Schuler Sewell now going to come in. And that pitch fouled off. And that's it. In the air, Aiden Zimmerman is under it for the catch and the 3rd out. Cardinals get out of the inning, but the Eldorado Wildcats put 6 on the board in their half of the frame. Cardinals coming to bat. They've got a lot to make up here in the last half of the last inning. 13-5.
Batting for Camden Fairview, number 2, Marty Utsey.
All right, Mariuzzi leading it off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And first pitch inside off the glove of the catcher. And it's a 1 ball and no strike count to Mariuzzi. 13-5, the lead for the Wildcats here. Bottom half of the 7th inning. Cardinals got a lot of makeup here. And he swings at that one, pops it up over third baseman is under it, and he doesn't come up with the ball. And Utsey goes to second and is thrown out at second base. He would have been safe at first, thrown out at second. So there's one away here. Peyton Schroeder, the batter now for the Cardinals. Brody Dow would be next. Drew Bostic after that if they can extend. And that one outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Schroeder. And Schroeder swings through that one, evens the count at 1-1. And that one's going to be a little low. 2-1 the count now to Peyton Schroeder. Schroeder swings through that one, and the count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That ball just a little low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The count to Schroeder. And that one outside. Schroeder is going to go down to first base. Brody Dow to the plate for the Cardinals. 1 away. Runner at first base. And that one in for a strike. No balls and a strike. The count to Brody Dow. And swings through that one. And the count over 0-2. And that pitch outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brody Dow. Peyton Schroeder Stands at first. One away here, bottom of the 7th inning. And Dow swings through that one. Drop third strike. Dow's going to make it to first base on the drop third strike. All right, Drew Bostic to the plate now for the Cardinals.
Batter number 8, Drew Bostic.
2 away. Actually, Brody Dow, the base was occupied, so Dow's going to be out. 2 away, Cardinals down to their final out. And Drew swings at the first pitch, fouls it over to the Eldorado dugout, and the count, no balls and a strike. And that one on the outside edge of the plate, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes to Drew Bostic. And drop third strike. Drew Bostic thrown out in first, and that's going to be the ball game. Cardinals drop the game to the Eldorado Wildcats 13-5. We'll have a JV game coming up here in just a few minutes. We will leave the stream going. We will not have play-by-play. We will be playing at Nashville tomorrow night.